Mark D'Amico, Celtics.com. We talked earlier this morning about how you think you can get your reserves going. How can you stop their reserves from going, especially George Hill?
Well, and they got better off the bench, obviously, if they bring Brogdon off, too. They just got more guys to go to. But George Hill's been great. Connaughton's been great. You know, sometimes in a series, those guys off the bench can have a game here or there that really impact, but those guys have been good multiple games in a row. And certainly, you know, credit them, and we just have to do a better job overall on both ends of the floor on those guys.
Coach, how do you feel about Marcus Smart now after he's had a day to recover and go through everything? Is he still going to be on a minutes restriction?
Yeah, I just think it's his, you know, it's somewhat that he's still hasn't played much as far as 5-on-5, and then the conditioning aspect of it, but then also, you know, just the rust aspect of it. So he'll play, probably a little bit limited compared to usual. So, but you know, he certainly is in the plan to play some.
I'm not sure if you were asked this morning, but just what is the message to your team going into this game? And do you have to kind of prevent, from getting too concerned or too geeked up?
No, I think you talk about, you know, the issues we've had in the last couple of games stem from they've just absolutely destroyed us in the paint, and then B, you know, those third quarter responses. And so, like, we just have to be able to, when things don't go well, you know, pick back up, make sure we get organized, make sure we get great looks, get back and guard with even more urgency and emphasis. And then on the other end of the court, we got to do a way better job protecting the paint. And so, you know, this is the issue that they put you in. You know, they hit 23s in the last time we were here. You know, but they doubled their points paint versus three in Boston. So, you know, when you looked at it that way, we didn't do near as good of a job as we did in the first two games of really honing in on the paint.
Brad, you've had close games at half. You've thrown some punches in the third and fourth quarter at times in this series, but the Bucks have kind of responded.
Yep.
What have you kind of seen as the difference this year that they're able to kind of take those punches and throw one back?
Yeah, I mean, they've done a great job thus far in the games here, and they've really done it all year. Listen, to everything that they've done in this series, they've done all year. This is not a huge surprise that their substance they play with, the competitiveness, the multiple efforts, the tough. You know, you just go down the list, all the good adjectives. It's what a 60-win team looks like, and you credit them for that. I mean, they built this habit by habit, and so you know that you can't let go of the rope at any time in the game, and any time that we've gotten exposed.
Coach, you guys, when you guys have been really knocking down shots, it seems like it has a way of kind of jump-starting what you guys are able to do at the other end of the floor. The fact that you guys haven't been making shots, I mean, is there a direct correlation between just the struggles you guys have had offensively and the defense maybe not kind of being able to ratchet itself up to an elite level?
I don't think that should stop you from protecting the paint or flying around or doing any of those things. We did, like, when you go back and watch game 4 especially, I thought game 3, as I went back and watched, they just were unbelievable contesting things. We were really whipping it around, but it was not enough. We were so much better attacking in the first 3 quarters of game 4. We missed some good looks. But, you know, that's part of it, and you move on and you defend what you defend next. And, you know, you don't play as long as everybody wants to play unless you can get over that, right? You have to be able to just move on to what's next and defend regardless of what happened on the other end, and that's the challenge.
Coach, we know what Kyrie's capable of, and we know that he's been passing well, but where's the line between him trying to do a lot and carry this team and getting the other guys in a rhythm early in the game?
I think he's done a really good job of trying to get everybody involved and making the right play. I mean, the other day he had a bunch of shots in the first quarter that I thought were really good for him, but he also got in the paint and made a bunch of kickouts. I mean, there were very few times I felt like where he got in the paint and had a guy and missed him. Like, I thought he did a really good job the other day. He had a couple that he'd like to have back as far as finishing the ball going in for him. But I said today, like, he had 10 assists. It could have been a lot more than 10 assists. I thought we missed some really good open looks that he generated. And we want him to be aggressive and then read, because he's great at being both.
This morning, Marcus Morris said that we still believe that we're the better team. With that, in that vein, do you anticipate more, I guess, player policing? Do you want guys to be talking more amongst themselves, or is this a night where you want to import a message to them in the pregame, or do you change anything in that way?
We don't really change message, as far as the message is we have to play better. We have to do what we need to do possession to possession. We have to be able to respond to those runs. We have to be able to stay in the moment. This team has obviously believes in itself, and there's only 8 teams remaining, and we have to remember why we're one. But at the same time, it goes to doing it on every possession, and that's what these guys force you to do. And again, I could spew everything great about the Bucks all day long, but they really force you to be a good basketball team on every possession.
Brad, you and Bud have both talked about how adjustments can be overrated, but should we anticipate any changes to the starting lineup tonight for you guys?
I mean, I guess that's up to you to anticipate that or not. But I think that ultimately, I think our starters have played well. But as I said this morning, one of the things that we have to look at is we have to look at all the different options, and we have to determine if moving one of those guys to the bench might help us score a little bit more, even if it's an early thing. So, and I think I've got a whole another hour to think about it. So I'll think about it and then let everybody know. Thanks.